Hello, everybody. Long time no see, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into them right now. None of them are bad, just they're all actually very good. Quick overview, I was doing several master's classes last fall, and that took up all of my time, and I mean all of my time. And then in January, we found out that we were expecting, or well, we are expecting baby number 3. And unlike the pregnancies with the first two, this one kicked my tail. I was sick all the time and just was kind of on the couch every night trying to make through. So, needless to say, scrapbooking kind of took a back seat. And this video is pretty clear on that because it felt so strange scrapbooking because I honestly have not scrapbooked anything since, well, my last scrapbooking video, which I think was July, which is insane that it's been that long. But a little rusty, trying to get back into the groove of things, trying to get back into recording, trying to get back into figuring out what supplies I have. I'm not purchasing anything new because I didn't really buy anything while I took time off from scrapbooking, but I also wasn't using anything, so I want to try to get through some of the stuff that most of the stuff that I have. So this page is from I think it was January, and in January we had a ton of snow hit, like most all over, this side of the country did. And so much snow that I missed an entire week of school, and we couldn't get outside, and we were going stir crazy. And towards the end of that, the snow kind of tapered off, and we were able to get outside and play. And Landon was home from work, and it was a beautiful day. It was like in the 40s, which felt like a heat wave, and there was still a ton of snow on the ground. So we bundled the girls up and headed outside, and just played around in the snow. So what you've been seeing so far is me trying to just figure out how I want to layer the papers. And this is the part where I knew that I was so out of practice because I couldn't get them layered right. I couldn't figure out if I had too much space at the bottom, too much space to the right. Didn't really know where my title was going to go, but I just went with it. And so I have several of those papers, and I don't even have the strip anymore that has the name of the papers on it, so I can't tell you what they are. They are old, though. I mean, everything here is pretty old. I do know that the star vellum, I showed you the pack that came from. And then this is the large dots stencil. I think that's what it's called, from Simon Says Stamp. And I used 2 different colors of Distress inks, Tim Holtz Distress inks, to just kind of add some texture behind that page, or behind where all my layers are going to go. And they weren't the exact blue that I wanted them to be, but it works, and I kind of tie it all together at the end. And then I decided that I didn't like the way that you could tell that that was, a 6x6 piece of vellum. So I cut it off. I was trying to figure out where to put it. And at this point, I was like, maybe I should just stop this whole thing. I can't do this. This is so out of the norm for me. It just felt very unnatural, which is strange because scrapbooking for me has always been a natural process. And I could tell that I needed to practice some more and to get back into it because I didn't like the way that I felt at the beginning of this page. By the end of it, I was kind of getting my groove back a little bit, but the beginning was very strange. So I trimmed off a little bit of that on the left, and then I just ended up sticking that down at the bottom. And then you'll see that I got an ink smudge over on the left whenever I was inking up that stencil, but I'll show you a trick that I learned from a card maker, Jennifer McGuire, at the end on how to fix that, so it won't even be noticeable. But I've got this sticker from a sticker collection that I had. It was just cut out and laying in a stack. And then I have some washi tape, and I'm pretty sure that the washi is from Glitz. I'm almost positive, like 99.9%. And I just stick some of that up at the bottom, and I just kind of layer it in. All of this stuff is all of these techniques and things that I'm using are all things that I've done in the past. And this was about the point in the video where I just kind of felt like it was all kind of coming back a little bit. So I'm trying to figure out which stickers that I want. I know I want to use black because there's a lot of black in the photo. And then there's the black stars in that vellum piece. And but I also needed to kind of keep the blues, I was trying to figure out a way to tie in the blue distress ink that I used, since it wasn't a great match, and I wanted to keep the craft color in because they had plastic bags wrapped around their feet to keep the snow out of their boots, and then our house is very, brownish tones, and the craft pattern paper that I have. So I was trying to figure out a way to make the black and the blues and the browns all come together. Um, so I have these stickers, and I didn't check to see the font, but it's an older font. And at first it was going to say Snow Magic, but I didn't like that. So I changed it. You'll see here in a little bit where I put the thickers away, and then I grab them back out, and I change it to Snow Magical. And that was a lot better. Kind of a play on words there, but I thought it fit because in the picture, I show you at the very beginning, but Adeline has her little hand up and she's like watching the snowfall, because it was just kind of like almost a Hollywood moment where we're outside playing in the snow and we're snowing, or we're throwing snowballs, and for the first time ever, they're both in a good mood, even though either one of them had had a nap, and our snowman is totally horrendous looking, but Adeline loved it, and she just kept calling him Olaf. And Eleanor was terrified to take one step because she thought she would like fall over. So the snow was so deep; it was easily, gosh, close to 2 feet deep. And so at one point, I just like ran over and shoved her down in the snow, and she started cracking up. But it was just a really magical day, and the snow was falling in these huge flakes all around us. And that day, after I took the pictures, I posted a few of them on my Facebook, and I said easily one of my favorite days ever. And it really was. It was just a fun time that we had as family. So it was, no-brainer that the first picture that I wanted to document whenever I started getting back into scrapbooking was this one. So I'm really struggling here to try to find letter stickers, because if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I very rarely combine more than one dimensional letter sticker, like a thicker or chipboard alphabets or things like that. So at first I thought I would use those layered stickers from Amy Tan because they were brown, and I was trying to find something brown, but they were too big. So then I found these from Dear Lizzie, and they're like you can see the color, that greenish blue color, but then the actual writing is brown. So I was like, that'll work. I've already got a couple different colors of blue coming together on this page anyway, different shades. And so I just went with it because at this point, I was just, as sad as it sounds, I was just kind of ready to be done. So I stick them on there, and then I end up having to move them around quite a bit because I don't get them in the right placement. And I'll end up moving them once more whenever I add the A and the L for magical. And at first you saw me starting to put down winter for winter magic. And then I decided to go with the play on words and do snow magical. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm just moving my thickers around, and then I have to move the word snow because the dot for the I was in the way, and all that fun stuff. So at this point in the page, I am starting to think about ways that I want to embellish, and so far, other than the thickers, I have no dimensional embellishment. So I start with this flare that says like it was yesterday, and it's gold, so that kind of has that crafty, the brown tones to it. And then I'm going through this little dish that I just had on hand on my desk that has a bunch of little like flares and wood veneers. I thought I might use some of these pearls from Stampin' Up, but I decided not to, and I had those asterisks from Studio Calico over to the left, but I end up not using those either, and instead, just because it's snow and I'm talking about magic and sparkles and all this stuff, I decided to go with just some sequins. And so I have my Zig glue pen, and then I don't know the exact name of it, but it's a silhouette tool, and it's like a pickup tool. And one end has, I zoomed in there, so sorry. One end has like a sticky end, so you can use it to pick up sequins or snowflakes in the case that I'm doing right now. And then hold it in place with the other end and push it down. And I start with the Zig, and then you'll see me grab glossy accents here in a minute, but it wasn't coming out, and I didn't want to fool with it. And so I went with my my matte medium because some of the sequins just weren't sticking down very well. So a couple different types of adhesives there. All of the adhesives that I used for my papers and my photos was just my ATG. Trying to use up some of the adhesive that I've been stockpiling over the last few months whenever it's been on sale. And I haven't found like a glue runner, like a small one that I'm liking anymore. I feel like, I don't know if I'm using too much adhesive or what, but I feel like I go through it so fast. So if you guys have any suggestions for things that I could buy, you know, to kind of, that would last me longer, because in the past I felt like after 1 or 2 pages I was needing to change adhesive, and that gets kind of expensive. So so anyway, this is me. I'm adding some of the sequins down. I brought in some purple because both of them have purple on, and then I tried to bring in some of the blues and some of the snowflakes. So it was a very simple page, definitely not one of my most complex or layered, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I'm not going to make any promises for how many pages I'm going to start cranking out in the next few weeks or months, because I just don't want to let myself down, and I don't want to let anybody else down. But I do have one more that I'm getting ready to film tonight, and I will try to get it edited. And I'm just doing simple editing, that way I don't have to worry about taking photos and stuff, but I can just get them filmed and uploaded. So I hope you enjoy it, and to all my new subscribers, hi, and I hope that, you know, you get to see more of me soon. So I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, before I forget, the way to get rid of those splotchy, like the ink area, I took a utility knife and I just scraped it off because my paper was textured, and then I took just a plain eraser from a pencil and smoothed it over, and it's like you can't even see it's there anymore. So there's a quick tip. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.